soon as I started the stream, I had to take a haunted dump. I was gonna do something, but the internet's letting me down. Are you fucking drunk, Google? What did I say that made you think only Mega Man Battle Network? That's not even close to what I searched for. Well, screw you too then, internet. That's enough of all this crap. It's time to disco. Probably the finale of Disco Elysium tonight. You kind of just railroaded into endgame after all the shit goes down. Joyce is gone, the harbor's closed down. There's not a lot of side quest stuff left. Really? Okay, there we go. That was weird. I may have to roll back to a previous save in order to do one of the other side checks that I wanted to, but if that is the case, I think I will, do that after everything else. So if you missed the last stream, I would need several thousand words to catch you up. The shit went down, some people died. Quite a few people died. Clase is gone, but she left us a present. Such a simple present. She didn't do it, by the way. Ruby also didn't do it, but she's dead now. So where does that leave us? You see, the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman. Now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall. Hi, Pushy.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
Lieutenant tests the thread with his finger, drawn taut, it rebounds instantly. Ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside A prime, to then widen into a radius of locations in Martinez, B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime. Where does the thread point? It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime. The island in the bay. How did she know how to do this?
She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass.
Speaking of which, that window will have to be replaced again. She had a long time... Excuse me a second. God, I'm tired of having a human head. She had a long time to think about it after, standing on that roof, staring at the glass.
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her?
I think this is her way of saying she's sorry.
I find that hard to believe. But at this point, what difference does it make?
She trying to tell us the shot came from the islet?
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point.
There are ruins on that island. sunken seafort, and I saw it through the coin-operated viewer.
I remember.
This is also a location we have yet to rule out.
So it is.
For a second, he seems tired. You seem unenthusiastic.
I just haven't gotten a lot of sleep these past few days.
Just get shot, would you? Fucking humans. Sorry, I'm having a day. I woke up on the wrong side of life. He doesn't really believe this will yield anything. Maybe we need to go to the island. The wind blows in from the open window. The lieutenant sighs, looking into the cold distance across the water. He is trying to justify it to himself. I'm going to the island. Are you in?
Of course. I'm in.
Takes a second to gather himself and then says,
How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone.
Lillian, the net picker, she's towing her boat.
Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
And just that easy, we have one more lead. We're at a dead end. Then one red thread ties it all back together. I never did find Double Prime. I don't remember where that was. It was just supposed to be somewhere on the boardwalk. I couldn't quite figure it out. I know I have before. Harry, if you missed the previous stream, has also been shot twice. But he's doing fine. Gart's doing fine too. Also, he's a badass. We're all badasses.
Is there something I can do for you?
Nope. Hi, Gart. What about this clown? Does he have anything interesting to say again, or is he still just kind of hanging around here?
Hi again, Gendarme.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you were such an interesting character at first, and then you just dead end. You're not really anything cool. I got shot twice. I jumped into the middle of a bunch of gunfire, almost died. Spent 3 days practically comatose. And this guy's just like, hey, what's up? Sunday friend. I forgot about this. I love this game. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. One day I'll return to your side. Looks like Cindy the Skull finally found the words for her masterpiece. The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it. Yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday.
I smell heavy fuel oil.
And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil, isn't that flammable? What are you trying to imply, Fingers? You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy, and throw it in there, you know, just to see what happens, see if it's flammable. It's better that way, safer. I am pretty art cup. Feels like something maybe I have to do. Maybe I should call the precinct, let him know I'm alive.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Precinct 57, we've been attacked. I repeat, Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi and... Something is wrong. Only static hisses through the speaker. Hello? No reply. Only the mindless drone of static crawling through the air.
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our conversations and jamming outward communications to protect themselves from Crenel. It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. Our best bet is to carry on like nothing happened. That is, if we don't want us cut off the grid completely.
Isn't that dangerous?
No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 Union men, I hope. I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. The streets seem safe enough to me. If anything, taking out the mercs made things calmer. For now. You can try calling again. Just don't mention the tribunal. And remember, they are listening in.
They're shutting you up, silencing you. Don't fucking drop your guard. Everything sounds okay. No drumbeat of total war yet. If anything, everything sounds too okay. Yeah, I've got something I gotta do. Does Tommy have anything to say? He must have seen all that.
My man, you're alive. Almost. Kind of. Sort of alive?
Alive, limping, and with a punctured lung.
Man, what a day. I missed out on most of the action, but I heard it was quite the encounter. Had a strong sense of finality to it. So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock now? Talk is local union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned into a shit show.
I'm still looking around loose threads to tie up.
Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you, but hey, you're still breathing, right?
I, unfortunately, need to BRB. I'm having problems. And yeah, you probably get the idea. Sucks, but that's the way my Thursday's going. I'll be right back. I'm back. I don't remember what composure check for the cigarette guy means. You mean this guy? I don't really want to talk to him about her. He liked her. He was quite against us going after her in any way. Purple shirt guy in the whirling. Oh, that. I did on a previous game, I'm pretty sure. I don't really care that much about it right now. I met the lady driver on my investigation. She's called Ruby.
Okay.
Is it wise to share information about the case like this, sire? Telling him is a really bad idea. The lieutenant throws you a quick glance. What are you doing? She slipped away, don't worry.
Oof. Good on her. And good on you, too. Better focus your efforts on the bad guys. Mercs and such. Plenty of baddies to go around. And she didn't do it, believe me. If it's something bad, then she didn't do it.
I don't know about all that, man.
For long, but I know people.
He's relieved.
All right. That's enough sharing details about the investigation for one day.
Everything's fine. She went to live on a farm upstate with all the other, you know, drug dealers. What other skills do I need? Why don't we go up to a 10 on Inland Empire? Even the first racist isn't here anymore. Everything's so quiet. This guy's still here. Even Head Measurer isn't here anymore. The Boyadero stares at you with respect and gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes. Yeah, I got shot, no big deal.
Yet you live. It goes back to an older era where this was commonplace. You have a true Boyadero heart.
Alright, so where is everyone?
Hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out, for the time being.
You can't help me get inside?
No, man. Not today. Today is war.
He says it matter-of-factly like it's no big deal. What's going to happen next?
Time will tell. I'll tell Everard you dropped by. I'm sure he'll be glad.
That weasel I visited, turns out he has one hell of a colonial mug collection.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole.
Yes, his mug collection certainly represented antiquated social values.
Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out, friend.
What will you be doing now?
I'll be okay here, doing lookout. Quite the sight, aren't they? Getting to like that red I am. Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane killers turn up. Then I'll run. And live.
I'm sure they do good.
You know it, friend.
Good talking to you, gotta run. Yep. No getting into the harbor now. I'll have to roll back again to another save. If I want to talk the cargo container open. I missed my opportunity to get that. I don't remember precisely what's in there. I remember vaguely what's in there. Hey. With Head Measurer not here, I can finally see what's in the box. $10. not $10. 10 cents and $1. Totally worth it. It would have been my prize for fighting Measurehead. Everything looks a little snowier. If it were me, I'd probably still want another day before I started gimping around on a freaking bullet-wounded leg. And a bullet-wounded torso. That's where you keep your smokes. A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles lines the shop wall. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak. There, in that dark green glass, a world of ruby, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine alcohol, beer alcohol, love alcohol. This is not a good place for a recovering addict.
Guess not, no. I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, don't look, don't do anything here. Just get away, go back to work. No, I need the cigarettes. Give me the Astra cigarettes.
Here you go, mister.
I need them for a very specific reason. A raincoat? No, also I'm looking for... Yeah, give me some, like, health refills. I need Dramamine. Dramamine.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Thanks. I have plenty of psyche drugs. I feel like I must have already had some cigarettes at this point in time when I came here before, because I don't remember having to go out of my way to get anything for this. These Grod-made cigarettes are remarkable for their high tar content, a favorite of fishermen, police officers, and working men the world over. These are extra cancer for the discerning self-destroyer. Make sure you spring for the deluxe, which has some fiberglass woven in there. A little bit of asbestos in the filter. Dip it in some mercury, you're good to go. Step back, Lieutenant. Fuel oil catches fire immediately with a low hiss, a bright orange flash across the surface of the lettering. Falling snow turns to vapor above the burning message, mingling with the black smoke. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinez or even the Coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something even above those. Disco Elysium. Lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently, and the fire falters. The flames warmed him too, not at all in a bad way.
Let's go to that island.
I love it. What light lies there beneath the... What shadow lies there?
Only old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where's Renee?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
He is trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow over his wrinkled face. Gone. Gone where?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute Kent.
Well, was he killed during the mercenary tribunal, or?
Oh, he would have liked that. Violent lives ending violently. That's how he wanted to go. Sadly, it was not the case.
How did he die exactly?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Did he feel like he has to prove he can still pull his weight, doesn't need handouts?
Yes, he was about to head home. Cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time. Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, cause he's gonna be buried without it.
Do you think our conversation about his job pushed him to go out there?
No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now he just wants to move on and not think about it. Was he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute cunt. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that...
He falls silent and looks at you, eyes filling up with tears.
Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
Something mean?
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
Here, something to remember your friends by.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny... I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
Your voice actor kind of sucks, Gaston, but I mean, you tried.
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo.
See, that's what the police are supposed to do, protect and serve, man. I offer my sincere condolences.
Yes, we are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone.
Despite their differences, these men played such a significant part in each other's lives that now that one of them is gone, the other just feels lost.
I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
Boy, that's, not to say too much, but that's relevant to another stream that I have going on. Anyway, it's too bad René's gone. I was hoping to ask him about Maybells.
René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies.
Why didn't he like them?
There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. They called them the bells of revolution. I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the whole Insulinde. The royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
But you feel the dried flower in your hand somehow does still matter, though not to this sad old man. Bye for now. Gaston doesn't really have anybody left now, seemingly. Despite myself, I can't help but feel like I need to go talk to Kuno. I wonder if he was privy to any of what went down. I'm not sure if I ever did talk to him about it.
Everyone says you started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool.
In my defense, I only started crying after I got shot. Well, I guess that's true.
Cool. That's very cool to Kuno. Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're an invalid now, Kuno's gonna treat you different. Kuno
I really
doesn't
regret
reward
this conversation.
weakness. It's business as usual with Kuno. Kuno's cold like that.
Feels good for some reason. Okay, bye.
Watch out, pig. It's a dangerous world out there, but Kuno's got his eyes on you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Who knows?
I hate Kuno. Yeah, I can't get into the harbor. That was the only other, like, miscellaneous check that I really cared about. Don't particularly care about plaisance. I don't think I really need to go see Cindy the Skull. I think we're just plain done on this side of the river. Cindy's gone anyway. Yeah, why would she hang around? You got her message out. Burning message. This freaking game, this music. Did Kim just have a little pathfinding moment, or did he just take a second to look over the bay? You would decide. Pretty much nothing here. Maybe I'll go across the... Maybe I'll go visit the church one more time, see if there's any more damage I can do over there. This lady will be happy to know I got shot a couple times.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I got shot.
Even I can see that. I told you not to bring your trouble with you, policeman. We've got troubles of our own here.
Hey, the troubles that took place over there have nothing to do with you.
Though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen.
Yes, you are right. The men with the guns were coming for me after all.
I'm not sure those were the last of the men with guns either. There are always more coming for your kind, officer.
Another deeply unsatisfying conversation. Get out of here. Hey, kids. Want to see some bullet wounds? There's another check way over on the far end of the coast that I think I needed to pass a check with Clausier to unlock. Not too worried about that either. You know, more content that I'm just leaving you to enjoy if you ever decide to play Disco Elysium. There's always more to discover in this game. How you doing, Andre? Want to see me dance until my leg flies completely the fuck off?
Oh, the god of dance is back! I'm dancing with the god of dance!
That's it for now.
Goodbye, officer.
Hard cop.
Hard cup. I got shot in the leg.
Ouch. I did notice you limping, but I thought maybe it was your thing or something. When I was 16, I used to date this guy who had a limp, but it only showed when he was sober. So I guess it wasn't real or something. I don't know.
Like that San Andreas limp.
Anyway, shot in the leg? I'm sorry. Man, that must suck.
Silverbird has flown away. I'll catch it later. Never did finish syncing up signs with Noid.
What's on your mind?
Take care, Noid. Egghead. I can't leave this game without talking to you one more time.
Good morning! Yeah!
I love Egghead. Zoop, zoop, zoop goes the track in the background, never ending. You can't grasp what's missing, but you can try to make something up anyway. Whereof one cannot speak, one ought to remain silent. Good quote. Alright, goodbye, kid. Done all the damage I can do here. I learned something very upsetting about the end of my last stream. Apparently I chose badly regarding the necktie. I misread the necktie's intent. Not that I'm blaming myself, because the necktie did a lot of work to make sure that I would misgauge its intent. The entire game did quite a lot to convince me that that necktie's intent was something completely different. But apparently I really erred in turning my back on the necktie at that time. Oh well, a later playthrough, I guess. And yep, we're done here. Nothing left for it. Let's go to B triple prime. Again, I'm only so willing to blame myself for this. I mean, I guess I could have heard him out a little bit instead of just... whatever. Spent the whole game telling me, you can drink even better with your ass! And I'm just like, that was not the time for this. Necktie. What's wrong with you?
What happened? You're wounded. Why are you wounded? You look terrible.
You're not limping, you're you. She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee. I got shot in the foot. It was pretty badass. You would have liked it.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
I also got shot in the chest.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
Ah, it's not serious. He'll be okay.
I'd brag about it a little bit, I won't lie. You feel the ligament move on your left shoulder, and a small warm drip of blood. It's nothing. I have a question for you.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
We need to get to that island.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
What's on that island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars.
Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think, bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steered clear of it.
It'd be so ominous, wouldn't it? Just... I know, I'm thinking like Inland Empire here now, but just imagine like... freaking war-torn, bombed-out anti-aircraft emplacement on a little island out in the water. That would feel cursed. You said you haven't been there yourself. Who has then, if not you?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such.
Which kids?
The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright?
Be my guest. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do.
Is there anything I should know about getting there?
Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there.
So can we borrow your boat?
If you promise to bring it back. And no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow. And no drinking on the boat. And no joyriding either.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes. She smiles at you. Thank you. We'll use your skiff to get there then.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
I still have my smelly toilet ledger of compassion. That's important. I can actually use my skill point on something. Nah, I might still need it. I'll keep one in reserve in case I need to re-roll something. Been doing that a lot. I don't think there's any real point in talking to these two. Scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it. Okay, kids, you've been to that island, right?
On that island?
The one who's busy kicking his stone points to the bay. Yeah, that's the one. I need to know what's there.
That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets.
Dude, these maybe have, maybe the best voice actors in the game, actually. Bullet shells. There were a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important. Wait, you mean shells?
I don't know what these are.
What then?
They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off. Someone lives on the island?
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Why is he the fire guy?
Because he asks to put the fire out.
Why does he ask you to put the fire out?
I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes.
The other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his eyes like a little tin soldier. You mentioned something about lights?
I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Yes.
Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there?
No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
I don't know.
How come?
We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there.
Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island? It's clear he has no intention of finishing that sentence.
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Mm-hmm. So, possibility that somebody is there. Hello. I still don't remember what the hello time is a reference to. I feel like my stream audience size corresponds with how much quieter it is around in the game here. Everything's quiet. Right, I need to double check something here. Yeah, you can just seamlessly switch languages. Yeah, streamer mode is on. So, sadly, I get ahead of myself here. At least one copyrighted music track had to be, that's what streamer mode deactivates. Which is disappointing. A skiff with a small steering engine on the back floats in the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off into the bay. Strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations, closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said, it's a small tank, you won't be going back and forth on this. You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox.
What?
What? How else do we blast Sad FM on our way to the island?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM then.
He does not attempt to fight you on this. He's like, alright, you blast your Sad FM, fine. I actually wonder what our replacement tune is. If we even get one. The normal Sad FM is a very good tune.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last
I don't think this is the same one that I'm used to. No, I guess it is. Yeah, I don't know then. I thought this was the copyrighted tune that had to be removed. Yeah, that was my guess. The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off, and then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings, a flock of quails takes off in the distance.
Let's go.
Makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. Rusted chain trails off into the ocean. That goes over towards the other, that like pillbox looking thing we found. These tires are falling apart and they're at least 50 years old. I wonder if there's any tear here. I don't really wonder that. A lingering trace of mazout in the air. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel, black, viscous, and that's the, that rainbowy oil slick on the water. game. Barrel says ICM. You see a star with little specks in it. ICM, this feels familiar somehow. Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communal Army, the black and white army of the revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like. Sounds like RCM, Revachol Citizens Militia.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May?
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. A mediocre athlete would pant for dragging around his body on a rusted crutch, but not you. You're thinking about politics with blood dripping down your thigh. I mean, we've established what kind of cop I am. Time to be neutral cop. I don't give a shit.
This is better preserved than the others. You can still read the sign.
A white star.
No, an upside-down star.
With horns in the sky, the symbol of the commune. Looks old. What's it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Warm blood trickles down your armpit. The ligature is off. It's nothing. Little Birch from the coin-operated viewer, still holding on. Good for you, little tree. You made it. Tree is still here at the end of it all. And this place. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. This was once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here, medium distance, large caliber. An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall on your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
What kind of generator is this?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout.
He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo.
The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator. A hollow ring, the canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift. What does this mean, a generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
That is his idea of a joke. I am. This generator proves the universe is material. Fucker! A small agony, minuscule bones may have fractured, but it proves the point. Ouch. He nods approvingly, he even smiles. I meant, why is it here?
Someone with basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy.
Bent metal, broken glass, your path lies strewn with the broken forms of everyday objects. You are the destroyer, bane of inanimate matter. Gaze upon me, stuff and despair. Kudos. Anti-object task force. Even at this point in the game, it's finding ways to make me laugh. Why is all this much larger all of a sudden? Am I the only one seeing some sort of change in the UI that's taken place? It's a little weird. It's very weird. Wonder if the game updated in some way or if I messed with an option. Somehow, accidentally. Did get a 4 gig update recently, says Kant. Weird. Well, that's not something I did on purpose, but I guess it's not a problem. Just makes the text bigger. Shrug, I forgot there was Twitch integration in some way. Oh, just polls. That's a fun idea, though. I'm still not a real streamer. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. Survivor's kitchen. There's the Fallen Arrow shirt. Nice. What am I wearing? I hope I'm wearing my Helmdahl t-shirt. Oh man, why am I not wearing my Helmdahl t-shirt? What's wrong with me? It would be a moot point to put the necktie back on at this point. It's not talking to me anymore. I betrayed it. Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and in a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized. Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. The disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures. Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp, light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Does anything stand out? Not that you can tell. There's a digest to someone who's dead bored. Most of it's for entertainment purposes, fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor. Nothing out of the ordinary? Maybe it's a little old-fashioned? There's a nudie mag, more than that you can't say. The print in some of these is pretty small, though. This person has good eyesight. Scarf. Army surplus winter scarf. Going maximum empathy build. There's another change. I'm not seeing the icons of things as I drag them around. I guess the game did update. Kind of unfortunate. +5 empathy on this build, yeah! It is loud outside. I find that very disrespectful for what's going on. I'm trying to tune out the real world outside noise for what's supposed to be a very quiet and somber part of the game. Sucks. Drugs. This great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. This is how I know that's on the upper level, right? I was gonna say I thought that was how it came in. You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one, a heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small. How do we open this?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
I find us not opening it highly unlikely.
Alright, I retract my statement. It was naive. Let's look around and get it open.
Kim and Harry are an excellent partnership, really. Oh, you know what? I was also gonna shave before I came over here. I forgot. Oh well. You want to see Shaven Harry play Disco Elysium? There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner resting on piles of softcover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out Karakul blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How recently? A flash of pain interrupts you, making you wince instead of letting the words out.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Maybe a little, should I? Just an hour. You face the concrete wall. There's less light there in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there. You didn't realize how tired you were. Your body is still nowhere near healed. The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour, maybe? The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close until you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from blackness. It's evening. Looks like I slept in. The lieutenant is no longer here. Go outside to the beach. Hello? That dude looks familiar all of a sudden, doesn't he? Door's still here, closed. Feels strange somehow. You can't get in. Flashlight's important. Actually, I wonder if I can put that away. Nope. This would be a really good time to put it away. I didn't think of that. Oh well. Go down to the chain. There's something there. What chain? Let's see chain. That chain. Walk into the water. Now. You see her footprints on the water. Further. Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Turns around to face you. She has an airship bag in her hand. Seems to be in a hurry. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away. Melt the ice first. This way you're already talking. But you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go. Let her go. This is the Holy Queen of the territories of Moody and Interlind. Think of the historic knowledge we could glean. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win her back. Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
I'm not doing very well.
Don't say that. I know this positive thing sounds stupid to you, Harry, but it works. We all have an obligation to be happy. You too. And you will be. Now.
This is everything I always warned you about. This is almost too much for me. I'm in my head saying, fucking no, I won't. Who the hell are you to tell me I'll be happy? What the hell do you know? Where are you going?
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime.
Something is off.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions. What's in the bag?
Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality.
Crown of immortality? Aren't you already wearing one?
Oh, this. This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and raw palladium. It was passed on to me by the rulers of late antiquity.
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say than over her shoulder.
Anyway.
You don't have time to tend to my emotions. She sighs and looks over her shoulder. What are you doing? Stop saying things like that. Can you stay for a moment? We need to talk. We need to have one more massive epic showdown.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us. Our love. Our unborn daughters. It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell. Forever. That's just the way it is.
God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after all that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you tried now. But that's not a very good way for things to be.
It's not. But...
Oh, what? Tell me there's something good.
I don't know why I said but. There is no but.
That's it?
That's it, yes. We've talked about it a million times. You will get over it. Just like I did. People do. Things will get good for you again.
Where? In hell? Stop, you're only making it worse for him. You never help with anything. I'm not getting over it at all.
It just takes some time. For you, I think it will take something like 20 years, maybe? It was hard for me too, you know? I used to think I couldn't live without you.
It looks you right in the eye. Her irises are light blue, flecked with green.
But I can.
She keeps her shoulders squared and her back straight, but it's clear you're still making her sad. "20 years, that's so much time."
Yes. It only took me 1 year, maybe 2. Phew.
Isn't that just the way it is? You just go ahead and bebop along, get on with your life. Leave me in hell. Okay then, super okay. I have other things that I need to know.
What other things? We've been through all the things, Harry.
I get the feeling you're not really Dolores Day.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day?
You're... the morning.
The morning? I don't understand.
I'm mourning, I'm grieving, but you're not even dead.
Oh my god, Harry, stop. I don't want to hear anything about the morning. Mourning someone who's still alive. Any of that.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32. People my age are not supposed to mourn.
The fuck's that supposed to mean? You're the X something.
Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? Now I'm the X thing? You're confusing me. Look, I have to be at the Lausanne Aerodrome at 10:20 p.m. I still have a light rail to catch. I haven't even bought the tickets yet.
We all told you, everyone warned you. Shut up and talk to her. That's the problem. Look at what's pouring out of you. Should have stayed down.
My friends are waiting for me on the platform. I can't let them wait. It's impolite.
Say nothing. He does not look back. Instead hides her fingernails. They're bitten, frayed. The evening wind blows in. The gown wraps around her like a white flag. On second thought, you're Dolores Day, Queen Regnant of the territories of Mundi and Insolent, and nothing else.
Yes, Harry. I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the known world. Oh God, it's already so late. I have to go, Harry.
Tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrist. But you said I have a vast soul and you'll always come back to it.
We both said a lot of things. We were very young.
You didn't say it. You wrote it in a letter, a handwritten letter. I kept it in my paperwork.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
You need to recite it to her for effect. All of it, no summaries. I have it right here. Let me refresh your memory. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Please, Harry. I just don't have time for this.
What's the point? You know what I mean. You left me a letter saying you'll always come back to me, that you can't believe how happy you are with me.
Okay, Harry. Okay. It was morning and you slept. The room smelled of cigarettes and Rowans. There was hoarfrost on the ground when I left. It was autumn, the first one we had together. But you have to understand, it was 1,000,000 years ago. No, it was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then, filled to the brim with love for you, hanging on your every word. Oh, Harry, you were the coolest. But I am no longer that person. This has taken her place. It will devour you. Harry, I will eat your mind.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure cut in black moves below. It's still her. I was cool?
The coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants. Smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of my life that day. And you were. Some of it, at least. You were my first. My first kiss. My first time to have sex. The first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have that with me. It's a fact. But that is all it is. It's like a ticket stub, Harry. It doesn't do anything anymore.
What now? What happens now? What is the next thing we talk about?
Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again. If you do not feel like doing that, you should let me go to the aerodrome.
You're not even human.
I am actually very ordinary, Harry. Below this gown and wreath, I have an ordinary soul and ordinary thoughts. The only thing inhuman about me is this. This thing you've made me into. I'm sorry for saying so, but I just hate it. What is this? This is so far gone, Harry. I don't even...
Okay, I'm not gonna push it. I have other questions.
Other questions are the last thing I need right now. Hush. Can you hear? I think that's the 42.
Please go away. I need you to go away. Where's the option to tell her to go away? All I have is don't go.
I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30. I'm gonna go now.
You have sworn a holy oath, Harry. She herself begged you not to let her go. Shut up, authority. But I swore I wouldn't let you go. You told me. You asked me to be this way.
That was someone else. I betrayed her, overwrote her, and I'm happier for it. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10:20 flight.
Will we ever see each other again?
I won't see you, but you will see me.
How can that be?
Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago?
How will I see you again then?
Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again. There's the video rental.
So the only way out of this is to drink yourself so hard you completely forget life.
I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago.
But this is intolerably bad.
Oh yes. This is real darkness. It's not death, or war, or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry. See you tomorrow.
Isn't that just how it goes? The novelty wears off and you start looking for ways to change what eternity means. Get out of here. Lead me to my hell.
You're up quick. How was your sleep?
Just spit out the blood and get back to work.
Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep. Green paint flakes off the monoblock aluminum cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and a keyboard. The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades. What is this, then?
The console of an antique computation device. There was a generator upstairs with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Could this open the blast door?
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
Nothing happens.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
This hatch is jammed shut. Water rushes below, far down below. Firing slit. You can't see inside. Must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. The distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo on the water. The music here. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain. Strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea, leave it all. Well, no. We know it lies there. I've had enough of subaquatic terrors. Pain in your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. Inside of the fortress, you can make out the console and the blast door. Just went with my gut on that one. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Rochelle. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with drouamine. Give drug. Eat drug. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Single-person mattress, modern, civilian use, brand name Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover along with cigarette burns. Empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
That embrasure, what can you see through it?
Firing slit in the wall in front of you like a little window. Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. Springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling in your stomach. Small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you like a tiny landscape painting 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar. On the left, a towering skyscraper. Its top floor is shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside Apartments, Rue de Saint Ghislain, 33A and 33B. On the right, the red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling and Rags, Rue de Saint Ghislain 10, the doomed commercial area, and between the two, the box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling and Rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Classier's room. Motherfucker.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
Yes, there's an opening between 33A and 10. I can see the roof.
I can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Better late than never.
Nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
You're right. He looks north over the fortification, then at the mattress. He's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment to rationalize it away. Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island. He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says... He feels uncomfortable suddenly.
We should move now.
Fuel. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. Drugs. money and drugs. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, no running. Fuel. Lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown viscous fluid pours out and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. Recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Hi, Daisy. Come here, then. Come on. A dim golden glow illuminates the animates the console, faint like a ghost light. Urgent Sauver reads one dial key, Allumer reads another.
Turn emergency open.
Last door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears and then widens as the light shines in. Cat, come here. Don't just hover there, ghost of Sable. Either get up on my lap or don't. Come here. Cat stream. Looks like she is elected to not lap right now. A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
After you.
Behold, before outside when we were walking across the sand, I felt someone watching me.
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
Let's go. There's no need for Scooby-Doo-isms here anymore. Don't need the golly, I wonder what's out there. Might be scary. Let's go, Kim. Rubber dinghy, deflated and broken. Small white flowers blossom all around you. An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out onto the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything. Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell two kids to put out their fire, two twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position? Sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
Sir, I need you to put down that gun so we can talk further. We're with the police.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
Kim?
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. Strange sadness like a song. What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up into the sky. It's blue-gray, same color as the sea. Those words, the future teaches you.
Real music. Real brilliant kult. That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
You need to address that remark. I'm not a shit-licking bougie dog. I'm a half-dead police officer doing his job.
The job of a bougie dog.
What is La Revacholière?
It is the anthem of the world revolution. One of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Signal, it was... some Samaran shit, I guess.
How does it go, that song?
How did it go? Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him. It was dear to him. He resents forgetting it. His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand, frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a church that's seen too much travel. Like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing burnt into the wood. Triangong 4.46mm made in Signal. It uses jacketed ammunition, 4.46.
Jacketed, military-grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
As he speaks, he stresses every word. He's liking this. This is a Triangong made in Signal.
Worn. Personalized even. Looks like this weapon has seen a lot of use, hasn't it, sir?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles in a small bout of wind. The old man keeps following your motions with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looks very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession, in time. Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross. Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The Commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? Your holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the Army of the Revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
You've been in this island for 43 years?
No. I've been on other islands too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48. A nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Man alive, and I think I'm in hell. He was 16 when he deserted, and he's been hiding for 40-something years ever since? Like, more than 2/3 of his life have been spent... Ugh. Wow. Lapse of faith, huh?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
And when was this exactly?
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic.
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
Terrible shame still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it, the shame and the smallness of what he became. You didn't go to the map room.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Some kind of great terror, worse than you've ever seen. Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
Hold on there. What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail, gaunt for his age, more like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of... I don't even know what. Inferno?
I also live in hell. Whenever Kim has something to say, I'll let Kim speak.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere. Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on? What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing? Retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
First, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Murderers. I know what you mean.
You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis.
Iblis?
The black-eyed angel.
Shaitan Aurora, the Darkened One. Have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
What did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on, people forgetting, drinking, laughing. The weapons cache under St. Lane 22B in the basement. You been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting, little dots on the map he's walked across. It's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
Tell me another thing. You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We enforce the law. We keep these animals from killing each other.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce land. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
Spray of blood from his mouth onto the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast said, Communards signed the Revacholian instrument of surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Understood.
I don't think you did. You live in a delusion. Radio shows, speed racing, and sporting goods. It's not real.
So you're a communist soldier from the communist army.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do? The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
He was like a cleric, a shepherd. So you were like a priest?
No, the opposite of that. A future human, not a human of the past.
That means you're a trained communist, right? He nods slowly, and then another tremor. I'm not really into politics myself.
You're inert lumpen with a gun.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit, and he does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body. There's definitely something off with his body, something more than just metabolism or even cancer. And you've been hiding here 43 years?
43 years and 10 months.
It's the length of my entire life.
It's too long. It's not how a human being should live. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't give up. He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late. En route to St. Ghislaine, people walk home. Streetlights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers. Men, women, children, street hawks, and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Altocumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Marin inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judy Minot points west, the fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the whirlings, the writing still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting.
For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
I've seen it. Capital is too powerful. The rich are very well organized.
They have you. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load. What have you done, then?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. Trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay, okay. Going straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No, be careful now. Slow and steady doesn't make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal. So, you're saying you've killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now. Wait, so which one do I say that? Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you. And in them a chill like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull. What? All is not as it seems.
Detective.
Damn it, ask it already, he wants to say. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell?
The who now?
The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling in rags. Did you shoot him?
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The scent of blood in the air, but what else? There's something else you can't... There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks? Suddenly all these tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first. We done the ballistics. That shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fasces for fascist done his part. He said, fasces, you're admitting you killed him?
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
He waves his hand. There's a twitch, and then one more in his right eye. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments, anything. I don't need your cooperation, I've got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay, so what? Don't let it divert you. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Do you think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds and then twitches once more. Like a marionette on some invisible string. He's pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more. Come on, what am I forgetting? Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Classier's roof. My head hurts now. Who cares? There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and on Classier's balcony. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal footprints in the dust in the secret space behind Classier's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up. Of course. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe you don't beat yourself up anymore, though? You're not immortal. I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. Some shit.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Dross.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet. The maker is called Sansariq. You can see their V-shaped logo, but you can't make out the size. These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now. People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
Cat stream. It's cat time. Daisy's here. Good, Daisy, I need an emotional support cat. She's good at that. Cats with jobs. Lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and then nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire, silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind, seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him, just that last little push. There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
Seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets turning green with white flowers and white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A young woman named Clausier, ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Clausier.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim?
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm. Then there is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet it isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood.
He was a soldier too, he was a man.
Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him, say shot him, not killed him, so you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger. The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush, he does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
And then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yeah, you picked a hell of a time to... well, you didn't choose a hell of a time. Yeah, you might want to catch the VOD.
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
Motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. We don't need a motive, we have a confession. You can coax it out of him. Lieutenant's preparing the ground.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
Cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle's scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
You pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
You will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble. Not doing great on composure skill, but I have 2 skill points. When did you first see the deceased?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce, he means Joyce. By that you mean Joyce Messier, the Wild Pines rep.
Wrinkled up whore.
Moving on, the victim arrived some time after her.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and masked phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt.
Whites.
Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families and polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw on the night of the murder?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
He wants to see her covered in blood. To punish her. How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast? You looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
This was the one I was thinking out loud about earlier, when I knew there was something else further up the coast, but we didn't get it out of class yet.
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean...
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope. And you can see her bruises through the scope of that rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Quickly comes to you. The bruises on her body. Any chance you had seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
So you've been through the secret route behind the whirling rags. Those were your footprints there. You've just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Those two took the cake. Hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
You wanted to punish her, so you killed him.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leave airport bag in hand, silks flowing in her wake. This has got nothing to do with that. It's no good, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. It smells of burning buildings. I'm not like that. I don't think like that.
No one gives a shit what you think. You and your cronies kill 10 working-class men a day. I've heard the statistics on Channel 8.
So you had feelings for that woman.
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others?
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No.
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers. Something put the thought in you, a compulsion.
What do you mean, put?
A brief flash of terror. Just get the feeling from what you said. Do you agree?
Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
Sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes and then nods at you once more. One more down. So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her.
Her.
That's it. Motive. We have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, but she led us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week, at the island, like she knew. She'd look, at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol, yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandeliers she sees sparkle in the spring air below her. Streets and towers, tenements and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look out across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of Seafort stick out into the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, and then lost in the landing. He's there doing what exactly I don't know, Satellite Officer Vicmar points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something, that's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Hiedelstrom is optimistic. Hiedelstrom, sir. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee till then. I know this interesting little place where his voice trails off as the 3 walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minot looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. He needs something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years. Could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this. Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
Strange little engine seems to fire up in him again as straightens his back. The familiar put-put-put of hatred. More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Claire.
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class. Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Kwayamorang, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead.
Just gonna keep nodding and let him keep saying shit.
We did good when we pushed him under
Just
that
keeps
horse
going.
car. If only in the 30s, those disco whores.
What follows this ominous mumbling? You cannot make out a single word. The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. That happens to me 4 times a week while I'm streaming. Something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating. I don't know. How much more do we really need out of this guy? By the cock parading around in his colorful uniform, you mean Renee?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A petank maniac race traitor. I remember him. I remember him from Lanos. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one. That one.
The shaky finger he points towards the city, towards the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger it borders on longing. Let's definitely back off now. Calm down.
Calm down? I'm not angry. I adore him. He reminds me of everything we fought for. At least we killed that Frisell and his kingsman.
I really kind of don't want to listen to this guy anymore. It's all just directionless hatred towards all things. It's just, we pretty much know everything he has to say at this point. I think he's made his stance on all of existence pretty clear. I'm glad we talked about this. Now...
Glad? It's all gone.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain or the cough or the malnutrition. For a man who spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild, he is surprisingly okay. Indeed, he speaks fluidly, his movements are rapid if erratic, his voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated. Animated by what? It is a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures. Thought process is cut off like threads as he stares at the logs of the reeds. He also suffers mood swings bubbling to the surface unconstrained by his nervous system. Great leaps of emotion from anger to grief, despair. Wouldn't a foul temper be a byproduct of his life? Perhaps. But this seems more than that. The inner turmoil takes unexpected turns as if forced on him in a way. In summary, you sense some underlying neurological disorder. Dementia? You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile. Mr. Dross, are you okay? How is your memory?
No, I'm not okay.
I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Alright, you know, maybe I do want to hear what he has to say about the Clares, real quick. I want to ask again about the people you don't like. You mentioned the Union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare a farce of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment, so personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass. Who's a disappointment, Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass.
I mean, I don't think he can reach it.
I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Doesn't Everard run the Union?
That mobster toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed. We're not the first people you've met from the city, are we?
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clares asked him to... Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else to soften him up. That's interesting. I don't believe I ever made that connection. Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf.
He nods to you?
He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clares came to power. What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here?
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy, but why such a courtesy? Mr. Drost, did you kill the Cornell mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
So that's a yes.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, but he didn't do the hangmen for them, but he's insinuating something. So I guess no. Connection comes to you like a splash of cold water, cold, dark water. 20 years ago when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they? He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend. Who did?
That bourgeois cow.
Oh, her.
Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
Bordering on sentimentality drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to a familiar rage. She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Clausier.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muskova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
I like how often he contradicts himself, like he he doesn't care about brands except for that one brand. He doesn't care about race except for, you know, the one race trader. And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
No, that's not quite right, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river. Why?
Because she was dead. The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home. Waddling. Dressed in yellow. Drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal. Heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt. Someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her. And the ruins.
It was you.
It was someone. Someone shot her. Or maybe she just fell. I get these violent ideations. My memory is filled with holes, especially the 30s. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage, different from the one he has for her.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
Same old freezing hatred. There is plenty to work with here once he's in custody, and the lieutenant knows it. He gives you a little nod to proceed. I'm glad we talked about this, now.
Glad? It's all gone.
Yosef Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenaire.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The old man's eyes filled with sudden, unexpected terror at the words. This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up, the silence on the water is broken all around you, little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Yeah, he's afraid.
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Can I change this from here? Give me all the perception skill you can. I have 4 points. Score! There it is again, to your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The weeds whisper, stalks rubbing against one each other, but then, in the middle of it... What? Something completely different. It sounds like a bow very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Shushkim, do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence. It's still there, the unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin hovering in place. What is that?
What are you talking about?
The giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
Stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun. There it is. I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
4 simple words. Thank God. If he can see it, then you're not insane. But that means... it's really there. Spinning slowly in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Cryptids. The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair. White and curled at the tips, it's no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you've heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Oh wow, it's an electrochemistry check. Be afraid, you smell wrong. Say something to it quietly, like, you exist. The sudden chirrup fills the air. The walking stick moves its whole body, limbs working independently of each other like the parts of a masterfully constructed machine. It moves just an inch closer to you, or does it only feel like it does? Something in its body language has changed just slightly. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps towards the phasmid. Creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly there is a silence. No, stop. Be afraid. As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They're like white stalks of porcelain knitting above you, praying to you. Don't pray to me, I'm nothing. The reed creature does not stop its stridulations, whatever that word is. It towers above you, parting the reeds it emerged from. Tuft-like structures still rustle on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its cod? Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am. No reply. Total ancient silence comes from its mouth along with what appears to be some kind of foam. Stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. You are right. Little bubbles form on the mouthparts of the creature on its segmented lower lip. Looks to be foaming slowly. The foam is white and yellowish. The faintest smell like you've never felt before, like burnt roses. The invertebrate stops, raising its sight like yada yada. Tell me, what are you doing? I exist. I exist too. Tell me what it's like for you. I'm ill. What is your illness? In my heart. For me, it's sadness, input after input. For me, it is not like that. I have states, not emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards, but that is not important. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness being intruded upon. Transient, dim, moist. Intruded upon by what? Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I'm at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing? I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache. You're the type of animal I would like to be. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Why do you ask? Sometimes when molting, I regrow a lost limb. One time something went wrong and a small leg replaced a missing antenna. That's cool. No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk. You don't have a foot there now. Yes, thankfully someone ate it. Next time I molted, it grew an antenna again. Where does this come from? All of this, all around us, the world. Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lilies. Then all we can do is beat our fists against it day after day with no answer. You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read. I am a detective. So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? I was born to detect you. Yes, no one detected me for such a long, long time. For thousands of years I dithered out of sight, draped myself in greenery. This is my masterpiece. No one believed I exist. Almost no one, until you came, detective, dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. Across the calm sea, the first in 1,000 years. Is this a dream? What is happening? No, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real. What exactly are you? I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulindian Isola. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds. Molding, cloning myself, unfolding at the night to play with the trash bins and buoys. May have unknown dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage. I went unnoticed by the first settlers and by the land surveyors of the suzerain, and also by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first but did not stay have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the Citizens Militia in Revachol, district of Martinez in March of '51. Are you poisonous? Yes. I do not have a startle display, so I use a neurodegenerative alumone to aid in camouflage. Do not worry, it is only destructive over long periods of time. The deserter, he has been here for a long time. That's insane. No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively median life form, while it is you who are total extreme madness, a volatile simian nervous system ominously new to the planet. The Pale 2 came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Snidarians do not, the radically symmetricals do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the Plaids that you are going to destroy us all. Wait, the Pale is human-made? It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality, a great unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind. I don't have that kind of power. You are a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Given enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing, just by accident. How? We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out all anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago when organisms first started breathing, only much worse. Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts. Worse how? Everything your eyes touch goes back there behind the nerve mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day or just forget? I've already forgotten the whole world once when I drank too much. So it is already happening. Soon one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this has ever existed. I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all. No, there is one more. Not like this. Of all the creatures I have met, you are the most beautiful. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward for all mankind. I will try. She was hell on Earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it is being aimed at by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts through the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light, head turned towards the lieutenant. Hypnotized by the flash, it stands frozen before you. Sweat on your arms feels cold as ice, as if you're frozen as well, in the shadow of this giant statue of chitinous marble.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand, a polychrome ghost of white streaks across the reeds in the sky, and you as a shadow before it. For all time. The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold and ticklish.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Carefully pet the sight-like forearm. The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over, its hollow exoskeleton collapsing. Small shudder passes through the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl eyes still glisten, memorized by the light passing its nervous system. There's some kind of countdown happening as it slowly processes the overwhelming brightness of the signal. The invertebrate is regaining control. The stimulus overloaded it. It's passing like an extended moment or a gallstone. You got it. Another shudder pulses through this creature's limbs. It jolts back to life like a record continuing where it left off in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you. As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water. The long limbs carry its feather weight without breaking its surface. Goodbye, weird friend. And just like that, it's gone. Skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. This gets me so much. I don't remember if it was this stream or another stream that brought this out in me, but man, I remember talking about how, I don't know, in our real reality, we don't know anything, you know what I mean? Like, our world just seems like a cold, unfeeling machine to me most of the time. Like, I don't believe in magic, I don't believe in the paranatural, the metaphysical, the impossible. So a world like this where once in a while a little miracle does happen really affects me. And something under it. In the place it stood, bobbing there among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
What now?
The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black. Some kind of strange semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Fairweather T500 helmet. And a rifle scope. Could wear this cursed thing if I wanted to. This monstrous looking bug-eyed ceramic helmet was in the Fadsman's nest. Still had some reeds sticking out of it. It smells of seawater, but otherwise it's wearable if not exactly comfortable. Putting it on feels scary somehow. Bolt action 446 caliber tree and gong. Poor man's sniper rifle. And yep, it's the last missing piece of the puzzle, proof that he could have made that shot with this weapon.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now. Sir, how could you not see the phasmid?
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
That phasmid was in him, somehow. Long-term exposure to whatever it uses to disguise itself, I guess.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke. Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now. He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just reads for him.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dross.
No response. Maybe this is how the phasmid stayed hidden all these years?
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it...
Yeah, you forget it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this.
He's just gone.
I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated.
He was energetic and articulate, After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid.
It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
I forgot I was gonna try to rematch Kim at what, whatever it was called. Suzerainty 2. Oh well. No worry. I think I'll pass on the other check as well. The cargo container, I mean, I kind of don't want to wreck the mood at this point. I'll just let the game end. Anything that I forget failed to tie up. Oh well. That's how disco goes. It's definitely toxic, the phasmid, I mean, it told me it is.
Told you? Yes, good. During your long staring match, I understand.
He's been here a long time. Who knows how much of it in its company.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
Found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should... show him the scope.
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Dross? He turns his eyes to the reeds again as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being. I'm gonna let you rest now, Mr. Dross. The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength has all gone out of him. Just a frail old bones in a sack of tracksuit trousers and a windbreaker. Hang tight.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Still have 2 skill points if I need to dump him into something. Poor old bastard. Where are you going, Harry? At least I've still got my pinball coat. The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. What is that flutter? The flock of quail departs, now more than 100 meters away. 102, 105. Underneath the flutter. On the island, there's almost no wind under the rain, quietly falling on the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against each other. The soft raindrops. Ken says, as I've seen that sequence, withdrawals can kill you at near max health and morale if you play as a fascist. Good. Like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. Of great importance to the few who attend. Silent hiss to the west, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. To the east, the faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. For it, the sound of sand, the low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers. Raindrops fall on the water, strangely quiet, forming circles in the distance. Ahead, a low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating hollow, a big building. And beyond that, further north, air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air casts its flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless. Drop of rain falls on a black log of an extinguished campfire. Below the silence, what shadow lies there? Koldamama Dakwa. Kim.
Yes?
Momentarily, the sounds are swept away. Pain shoots up your right foot and into your groin. Have you noticed how quiet it is?
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
Mm-hmm. Wait, I have to listen to one more thing. The lieutenant nods in silence. Maybe one cryptid a day is a good rate. Let's return to the mainland.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. Two men and a woman stand on the concrete squares of a nameless village looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff. Three of you.
What the tide brought him.
Says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Sorry. Whatever this is, it's completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling racks, but where are his sunglasses? No one else seems bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Forget about all this. There's a giant...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
Who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstrom. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Battle Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you after pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he is in fact a decorated police lieutenant, not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
She says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles. Lieutenant Kim is a little bit of a superstar. People know this guy. Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you. What is this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You should never address her using those words again.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
Well, that's good, because most of my psychology is merely theoretical.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets. Shit Kid, interesting moniker. What's a shit kid?
You. Shit kid. That's you.
Maybe you deserved it? How did you know I was here?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
Damn you, cafeteria manager, you betrayed me for the last time.
Speaking of which, the giant hierogafito in front of the building. The one that's burning. Did you do that?
Yeah, I lit it on fire. It was a poetic gesture.
I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant? I told you it was our shit kid.
The line is from Lu Jiatun's Mirova 82, isn't it? About girl-child communism, the titular returning character to ghost the apparition of... Good choice, Harry.
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Thanks, Trent.
Okay.
Ew. Sorry I didn't recognize you before.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually. We're just worried.
That's right. Worried. I'm always worried about you. Every time you don't show up to work, or when you do but stink, you're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries, instead of working.
So, Trent Hedelstrom turns out to be Special Consultant Trent Hedelstrom.
Yes, I'm Trant Heidelstam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heidelstam.
Hey, what's up with the kid then?
Mikhail? Mikhail's my son.
Oh yeah? What's up with all the interesting history? Spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you, and also interested in the Feld building. So, what are you special consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
You mentioned a task force?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory, who else is in this?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Trant fucking Heidelstam, and Guillaume baby.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Yeah, alright, first who's, Guillaume Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Okay, so what does the unit do?
Do? It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
They're your posse, or what remains of it. Handpicked, hand lost.
The 41st isn't...
Poor kid. Where have you been all this time? There was a mercenary tribunal.
God damn it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
So, wait, so you let me face a squad of trained killers alone just to teach me a lesson?
It wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we?
All will burn, Satellite Officer Vicmar. Make no mistake about that.
Here we go. Alcoholic delirium. Visions. All must pay.
None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring.
Kind of.
He can drive a boat. He's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia. Episodic and semantic.
Meaning you both forgot who you are and the definitions of money, isola pale, and so on.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Something so sad happened to me I couldn't be me anymore. It was a defense mechanism.
Psychotraumatic amnesia? Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I am. But you know what?
I was so poor I lost my memory. I couldn't afford brain.
I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying, or insane, or both.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before.
I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful. I like conceptualization. That's one of my favorite voices. The two cases in your ledger, the unsolvable case and the next world mural, those were recent. Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world team, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for its end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
I have no idea. Line detective is good for now.
For now? I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? What is
Oh.
it there, Harry?
Yeah, that. Tequila Sunset. I also jumped the canal, by the way.
Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Tequila Sunset. Jump the canal. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired, and I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
I got my badge right here. In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. Oh. Son of a... You juggle the badge for a second, unsuccessfully, and it lands on the ground some 2 meters away. Ouch, strained your elbow trying to catch that stupid thing, damn it.
He found it. He found it, Jean. It's his badge.
I like Judy.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements. What is it with all these material objects? Gun.
Yeah, gun. The thing that was given to you to kill people.
I upgraded my gun to a rifle. No. Yeah, there we go. Gun, behold all my guns. If anything, I need more hands.
I don't care about your collection. You hoarding freak. Is one of them your service weapon? I only want to know about that one gun.
Yeah, I got that.
He has it. And he didn't drop it. You're drunk like a bum, Harry. Put that thing away before you kill someone.
I'm not drunk. I haven't even started drinking again.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
Hey, it takes a while to sweat out 20 years of alcoholism.
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
That's true. It's been a bit of a week. I'll go with this one. It sounds like the most me. I kind of want to say that one. Yeah, it's been a week. I'm sorry, I smell bad.
A bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Not taking her in was the right thing to do. She gave us a final clue that led us to the island.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself in the head, or the fact that you're ever Claire's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
As did you. Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, what he said.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's just strange, especially in light of his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a true blue moralist, a man of the center, not prone to political outbursts, which is commendable, but also at odds with his behavior.
Kim has me figured out. He knows I'm wearing the centralism as a mask.
Other still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know. But he is vocal about both of them.
I think you misread my tendency to sometimes kick ass.
And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I've seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vicmar, was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Thank you, Kim.
Okay, he did something.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case.
There was also
and
the board
he solved
game.
it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation.
And I still want to rematch you at the board game.
He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Hosiana.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective?
Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away. This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never. The previous head of the Debradors Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open. In Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be big.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
See, this guy gets it. Also started a nightclub in the church.
What was that? It sounded like you set up a nightclub in the church.
Yeah, I did some kids a solid, turned their lives around. Wait, here we go, I like this. Yeah, and I discovered a hitherto unexplored anthropogenical phenomenon in there too, a 2mm hole in the world.
That's great. Anthroponaut is a great new career for you. After police officer. I don't care. Go live in the Pale.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
It's not that okay. Get off the subject now. The killer, Lilianovich Dros, we have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym.
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lily. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fixation. Aggravated, possibly, by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason. Said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died. Right on the island. And 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way, way more. Jesus, number 2. You gotta move on a little bit, man. It's more than that. It's a perfect folding mechanism like the phasmid.
Perfect folding mechanism? Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it, doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It'll pass in time. There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How did you know I found him?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, Detective.
It's still a point for you, no denying it. I also looked into the mystery of the doomed commercial area.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is.
The curse turned out to be possibly anthroponetical, part of my larger investigation into Martinez itself.
No, it didn't. It didn't turn out to be anthropomorphical again. Enough with this rotary pale 2mm hole in the world line. This isn't Paradox B. We're a police force.
Doesn't look like the lieutenant wishes you to push this angle further. Cut it out is indeed what he's thinking. I confiscated drugs from Kuno's dad?
Who's Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you did. It's alright. I mean, at this point, anything is but the drink.
So what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks, so maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are. Wait, I have a few questions before we go, about who I am. The man looks westward impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket. Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
before that...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coran. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
I'm almost sure I've had this conversation before, except Kim guessed that I was a gym teacher. Am I making that up? That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything.
Maybe not, I must be making that up.
The jumping, the shot put, your inexplicable facial hair.
A collection of fallen sportswear, I've amassed.
Your moves on the church floor, which honestly were just jump aerobics. Your use of the word graffito.
Also, this guy, just everything about this guy. When was this? When was I a gym teacher?
In your 20s or late 20s. You've really let yourself go since then.
You said in Quran I was a gym teacher there?
Yes, you taught gym in Quran. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
High school would be a terrible place for that. Smell of sweat and glue, the worn floorboards.
High school. Harry, your goings on with Kuno, Andre, Assel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
His smirks are just barely contained laughter. Why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of soak and raspberries and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope. Okay, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
I've had some really shitty gym teachers, but I've also had some really cool gym teachers in my past. There's one in particular who I'd like to, bust his jaw with a crowbar, but there are a couple who I remember pretty fondly, actually. Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
Some chick? Who?
Dora something. Dora England. Yeah, you mentioned her name.
Not Dora Dubois. So we weren't even married.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
I've heard enough.
So have I. You bitterly dropped Dearest Dora and really tore me a new one twice a week, I think. It comes up.
Special consultant glances at his wristwatch. Okay, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No.
No? Because the suspect seemed to think...
You're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
Oops. You would immediately backpedal out of it. Told you it's not that bad. Alright, cool. Precinct 41, what kind of station is it?
Us? With the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? With the bad guys. No one likes us.
That adds up, yes.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed. And everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
And Jules Pidou.
It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
Tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torsen and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torsen McLean.
Mac the Torso Torsen and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic, though, Torsen and McLean. An iconic duo, I take it.
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
And the Sea Wing is...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force. It was a mistake.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way. And Price is...
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the Force. You're lucky.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. Resident medic Nick Gottlieb pours him coffee. It is silent in the captain's office. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets, and they speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in May. Did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
He means it. The RCM and its enemies will not be discussed on this coast. Your clearance will not go up while you're within earshot of the Union headquarters. So I work in the bloody murder station?
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershoal. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
The Phasmid. I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about the Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She's going to be over the moon. Watch out or she'll faint. Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his glasses.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
And we just connected the whole thing right to the Calares. Distant traffic, a scrap of newspaper drifts by, carried by the wind. Do you want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I mean investigate. Come work in Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in? Am crazy enough? Can take the stress? He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
Jean Vicmar, who's been just like shitting on my head for like an hour. expresses that he would be honored if Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi would come work at his district.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it. I'm ready.
Good.
She looks at you, then Vikmar.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
The great district hums in the slowly falling snow, a chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls in chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see, from Main Street to Precinct 41 to Boogie Street, forking into the wide horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. En route to St. Jerome, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. I'm gonna get you. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Thorson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Edelstam? No. Vikmar? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain told me Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in the office and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll sign with the RCM. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. We know, of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
That's a new animation. I think, anyway. Satellite Officer Vikmar. Good. One more break in reality. Tonight's stream ran a little long. Pale door says Cat. Fucking A. Disco Elysium. There were more things I was going to show off. I wanted to open the cargo container. I thought about rematching Kim at the board game, but honestly my voice is tired and maybe we'll just let the game end. If you want to see more of Disco Elysium, play Disco Elysium. It's great. What more can I say? You know what more I can say? It was good for me to come back to this game because if anything, it's a story about how you can be the most broken motherfucker on the planet. But still, life goes on. You know? Because lately I really do feel like one of the most broken motherfuckers on the planet. I'm not so bad that I'm, you know, drinking myself into retrograde amnesia. So I've done a good job of not getting worse. But it's been a hell of a couple of years. So, maybe Disco Elysium is really about, you know, maybe there's still a future. Maybe there are even things in that future worth looking forward to. Guess we'll have to see. But I know there are still some people who like me. So that's nice. Was this replaced for the... It must have been. It's a good tune anyway. I'm still... I think out of all the checks that didn't really go the way I wanted, I think the one I'm most regretful of is that I didn't get the other voice for the karaoke. I honestly thought the the limbic system voice was a lot better in the karaoke. Like, it was terrible, but it was terrible in the best possible way. But yeah, the point is, all drama about me aside, what a motherfucker of a game. I was actually just about to say, you know what, I think probably my one biggest regret is the necktie, actually. I'm sorry, necktie. Maybe on some future game, our brilliant vision will finally be realized. But seriously, you didn't do yourself any favors, all that talk about just poisoning your ass with industrial alcohol. Leave the butt jokes to me. Mega rich light bending guy. Oh, that's who we didn't see. Spoilers, I guess. If you want to meet mega rich light bending guy, you'll have to go find him. Very hard to exploit handicapped person. Boy, how'd you like to translate a game like this, huh? How'd you like to really, like, just pour through the entire script of Disco Elysium? Try to make it sense in Chinese. Make it sense. Yes, good. All sense get made by head speak from mouth words say by me, Zeor. Me brain word come out of face orifice part goodly all the way. Yeah, not to mention how much French influence is in the script, as Cans points out. Also says it is 2 million words strong, which in Chinese has got to be at least like 6. No, that's more of a Japanese thing. Larger than all Harry Potter books twice. That's terrifying. Like, I'm not trying to visualize Disco Elysium as a book. It's like taller than the monitor on my desk. Conceptualization's like, ah, what? Boy, this is a lot of credits. Good lord, this is all this localizations. There's a Portuguese one. They hired 7 proofreaders for the Portuguese localization alone. Normalize hiring proofreaders. 4 times the size of War and Peace. Good. How is this possible? German. Frank. I also regret that Gary the crypto-fascist got away from me. Some future game I'll nail him down. Make him cry racist little tears. Didn't even grant me my 3 wishes. By now, your PS3 controller has fallen asleep. New humans. Only 3. It's good. Ziggy is in the credits. Good. Good job, Ziggy. You did it. Dogs with jobs. Mankind, be vigilant, we loved you. Like, even the last line printed in the entire game is just little subtle poetry. There we go. It's disco. I've hammered this point into the ground over and over again, but even though you now know who done it, at the end of the who done it, there's still plenty of enjoyment to be gotten out of Disco Elysium. I really recommend this game, if that's not somehow not clear. My voice is failing me. I need to stop saying words. I need to stop doing all of these things and go eat food. Thanks for watching my streams, everyone. I think currently I'm only talking to cans, but I think in some cases some people just kind of fell behind the curve and want to catch up in a linear fashion, so that's fine. Or maybe they're just busy, that's all fine too. I don't know, whatever. The point is, hey, if you're hearing this right now, even if you're hearing it in a VOD, hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And, that's all I got for you. Bug tomorrow, assuming I'm alive. And go to Long Division. Have a good one.